Hey everybody, Derek Brown here again with another Tutorial Tuesday coming at you. Today I am going to continue kind of the double tonguing theme from last week and talk about getting kind of a double tongue sound with the BEATBoX snare sound, one of the big three sounds that I get. If you listened to the hi-hat clicks tutorial, I talked about getting a double tonguing sound with the hi-hats, so that's doing them. Doing tucka tucka tucka, just like the normal double tonguing on notes, which I talked about last week. Tucka 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 allows you to play twice as fast on the eighth notes. So now these pitchless pops that I referred to a few weeks back, I want to talk about how to be able to play those twice as fast, because right now this is maybe as fast as you can do it. This is as fast as I can do it. So if I want to go, that's pretty hard to do, and if I play any faster than that, I can't do it. It's like playing a snare drum with only one hand. You can't go twice as fast. So I developed a way to do this that's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty close to sounding like you can get this double tongue sound. Because if you do a double tongue sound on that, you have to get a note out of the horn. You can't just, the saxophone can't just play a note and it sounds like a drum. That's why I had to come up with this and use some of these weird extended techniques. So if you remember with the pitchless pops, I'm doing this sound where I have this this pressure kind of at the front of the mouth being released, all kind of air from up here, not from down here, at the front of the mouth, and opening the lips, that gets the sound. Now, how do we get the equivalent of the ka sound, on the upbeats? That I had to do a lot of experimenting on the horn, and I'm going to fill you in on a little secret of mine. On the tenor, how I do this is, and this is what I found to work best on my horn. It might be slightly different on yours, but I'm guessing it'll be similar. I found that if I fingered an E, but ever so slightly lift up the B key, the left index finger, just a tiny bit, not all the way, or it'll kind of have a C-sharp sound, just a tiny bit, and if I get that, if I do that double tongue syllable, that ka sound, I find that it kind of matches, pretty closely matches, my pitchless pop sound. So it's kind of the closest I could find to getting a pitchless sound on the sax. And that's because it's kind of in between some notes. It's not a normal fingering. If you do a normal fingering, you're of course going to get that normal note out. So this is kind of in between and allows me to get that. So let me show you what I mean. So first of all, if I'm just doing the double tonguing, what's going on in my mouth, instead of doing tucka tucka, because I'm trying to get those pops, I'm going pa-ka, pa-ka, like a PK instead of tucka tucka like we talked about last week. So pa-ka, pa-ka. Now if I do that fingering a normal note, like if I do that just open, which would be a C sharp, you get this sound. You can hear that C sharp in there. So it doesn't work. I mean, you still get some tones there twice as fast, but it doesn't work. It doesn't sound like a snare doing 16ths. So if I do that fingering, or I do that E fingering, first 3, second 2, and just slightly lift up on the index finger, you're going to have to adjust for that, because it's just a tiny bit, mostly closed. I get this sound. Sounds pretty good, I think. If I just do it by itself and do the ka sound, if I open it up too much, you start hearing a note. And if I close it up, you also start hearing a different note. So this is kind of in between. You'll have to experiment with that on your own to find it. And once again, pa, ka, pa, ka. So of course, practice it nice and slow. Practice just the kas, and then practice it with these pitchless pops. Of course, if you haven't worked on the pitchless pops, go back to one of my earlier tutorials, look up saxophone pops, and you'll find that. And this is kind of a cool thing. It's just a subtle thing I use once in a while, kind of for fills, but I find that it adds a lot, particularly to ends of phrases if I want to change things up. And of course, as always, feel free to check out my website, DerekBrownSax.com, if you're interested in doing one-on-one lessons over Skype. And be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be posting every Tuesday, even next Tuesday right before Christmas. And there will be more music video, beatbox, sax things coming as well. So keep an eye out for that. Until next time, happy practicing.